What is vibin? This is Vish, and today I will be talking to you about the experiences of inner engineering, and this is on day one. First off, I am a meditation coach, and I have guided over hundreds of people in their meditation journeys. If you have any questions on how to meditate or anything about meditation, either ask down below or DM me on Instagram at Vish Vibes. Now, I do want to preface this video by saying that I do want to honor the integrity of Sadhguru as well as the program of inner engineering, and I will not be discussing any of the details of the program itself. This video's intent is really just to talk about the overall reflection and how the body and mind felt from the experience, and also some general stuff about before the program, what I was thinking, what was I thinking after the program, things like that. And I do want to emphasize a fact that this experience that I'm sharing isn't meant to paint the picture of what your experience should be like. I would first off highly encourage you to also try inner engineering. Now I want to be talking about how I got introduced to Sadhguru and inner engineering. So first off, Sadhguru was a spiritual teacher and guru who I first came to know back when I was in high school. And at this point in time, Sadhguru was still kind of picking up traction. He wasn't too big out here in the West, at least. And the mom was the one that first came across him. She was talking about this guru named Sadhguru, and back then, keep in mind, I was very oblivious to spirituality, mental health, and all sorts of stuff like that. And when the mom was talking about Sadhguru and trying to show me some videos, I was like, that's not for me, and I just don't find it interesting. And to be honest, I just wasn't even giving it a chance. Eventually, the mom herself went on a program at Tennessee. It might have been the retreat program. I'm not too sure. I'll have to ask her and see what she took. However, when she went to Tennessee and she got a chance to even see Sadhguru, she was very, very blissed out in experience and was very, very happy when she came back. At this point in time, when she got back, I was happy to see her happy, but didn't give it much attention and honestly didn't think about Sadhguru till the next couple of years. Fast forward to college. I was in freshman year and wasn't really giving much importance to the mental and physical health. And then right afterwards, anxiety hit me like a truck. And it was a very low point and I wasn't sure what to do. Then I was very fortunate enough to come across meditation. I was doing a bunch of other things like working out, sleeping more, eating healthier, all of which made a big difference. However, the biggest X factor was the meditation. Of the meditations that I was trying out, one of them included Sadhguru's Om chanting, and even the I'm not the body, I'm not the mind chanting as well. And initially, when I started doing the I'm not the body, I'm not the mind chanting, the self was very, very confused and kind of weirded out, to be honest, because it just made no sense. Like, what does that mean? I'm not the body, I'm not the mind? Eventually, the self then began doing more headspace meditation and other forms of meditation and kind of lost touch again with Sadhguru for a while. Eventually, as the self became a lot more immersed in the meditation experience, spirituality was a door that was right next door and just came knocking down, and the self was super, super ecstatic to enter the spiritual journey. Of the spiritual teachers and learnings, two main stuck out to the self, that including Eckhart Tolle and Sadhguru. The self started doing all sorts of meditations by Sadhguru, whether it be the Aum chanting, the Brahmananda Swarupa chanting, the Yoga Yoga Yogeshwara chanting, and the Isha Kriya meditation. The self honestly didn't even get a chance to do the research on what these mantras and chantings mean. However, what the self learned from some videos by Sadhguru was the idea that a lot of these mantras and chantings don't even have to be understood. And it's really the chanting and the vibrations that will bring out the inner engineering. Now, what does that mean? I know that can sound confusing and it's almost like a just believe it or just blindly close your eyes and do it. Here's the thing. The way Sadhguru puts it, and this is by the way the interpretation of the self, there might be other interpretations out there, and it's the simple idea that what he does is he provides a bunch of tools to us, which are what make up the inner engineering, and the self is confident that there are other tools as well, like these other chantings, like the Brahmananda Swarupa chantings, which are also just another engineering tool to help engineer the inside, and the self. And the whole point behind that, and why it isn't similar to just a simple belief system, is because the way Sadhguru talks about it is, hey, try this engineering tool out. If it works, it works. And he doesn't really talk about it not working, because to be honest, from what the self has seen and experienced and heard from so many people, they all work at the end. And now what is working, you might ask? It really just comes down to bringing that state of blissfulness, ecstasy, and the baseline level of peace that we all should have. And so that's why I'd encourage you all to try it out too. It's not something that he forces on you or I'm gonna force on you. It's really just a tool that worked for me, and I'd encourage y'all to try it out. Now, just like working out, which the self is very, very into, it's not something you do for a day or do for, a couple of seconds and just see if that's what works for you. It's important, just like getting those gains, that you have to be consistent and put in the right time and dedication. The way Sadhguru talks about it is the idea that we put all this effort into school, all this effort into the work, the job, all these things which are okay and super fine. However, to fix the body, to fix the mind, to fix the emotions, to fix the energies, why do we have to just expect a single word answer or like a one-day cure? It's just not that reasonable. And so that is why the inner engineering also takes some work. Now, the self did mention a bunch of different meditations, which I just covered at a very high level in this video. The self will explain more of those meditations in another video. Now, the title for the first session of day 1 in engineering is called The Mechanics of Life. And as Sadhguru quotes from the website, so this is something that is open and public to everyone. It's not like an insider thing from the course, because like I said, I do want to maintain the integrity of the inner engineering course. He says, "The most sophisticated machine on this planet is the human body, but you have not read the user's manual. Let us explore." So this is really just like an introductory day of the inner engineering course. Again, not to go into too much detail, or any detail for a matter of fact, he just kind of introduces you into the inner engineering course and does a brief amount of meditation as well. Now, something again which is available online is the fact that this course is 90 minutes, at least the first session is, and there's a total of 7 sessions which are also each 90 minutes. And what he does recommend is to do these as close together as possible to get the full experience. Now, what does he mean by that quote with regards to the user manual? So Sadhguru has talked about this in many other videos, and what he really just goes into is the idea that, for example, we have a camera, or you have your phone, or let's just say a computer. Imagine not knowing a single thing about this machine or mechanism and not having been taught anything about it. If you're expected to take a really good picture on the camera and you have no user's manual and no guidance and no advice, how are you supposed to use a camera and take a good picture? That is the analogy Sadhguru provides towards the body and the mind, and how we aren't really given a user manual, and as a result, we are literally messing up the body and the mind by just pressing a bunch of random buttons, which in this case would be eating random foods, sleeping in not the most proper ways, not exercising the right way. It's very simple. Just follow the user manual, which in this case would be the inner engineering program, and naturally you will know how to work the body and the mind for yourself. He talks about this in many other videos as well, and it's the idea that the mind and the body should be taking instructions from you. It shouldn't be the other way around. You shouldn't be the slave of the mind. You shouldn't be the slave of the body. The moment you do is when you enter suffering, because at this point you have no control. And that is why inner engineering, as Sadhguru says many times. Now, just a little day reflection with regards to how the self felt throughout the day after the first day of inner engineering. The self will have to say that the beauty of the engineering, just like the engineering of a bridge, isn't just to construct it once, but to construct it in such a way that in the future, whatever car goes on it or truck goes on it, it doesn't collapse and it works. And so the same way with the inner engineering program, what the self has realized so far, and it has been a day, so Obviously, there will be a lot more of a deeper and thorough reflection in the coming videos. However, at this point onwards, the self has realized that by learning to engineer the self and the inner workings of the body and the mind and emotions and energies, it is a state that the self will be able to learn to bring out throughout the day. And so, for example, the self ended up working out afterwards and also going to work, and was able to bring about that level of awareness and consciousness to the workplace, and also share that presence with the workers around me, as well as the people the self served the food to. And that's what it really comes down to. If you were to just go into that state of meditation and be blissed out only for that session, however, the rest of the day you're just all cranky and miserable, it's really not doing you much good. And the whole point is to carry out that state of meditation throughout the day and learn to be blissed out, unaffected by the external. Now, a huge part of why the self wants to do the engineering program is because of the initiation into Shambhavi Mahamudra. Shambhavi Mahamudra is a special level of meditation where you get specially inducted into by Sadhguru, and now it's going to be all online. Now, in order to get inducted into Shambhavi Mahamudra meditation, the self has to undergo the 7 sessions of engineering, as well as a set of classes that are a part of the engineering completion course, which is what eventually leads up to the Shambhavi Mahamudra initiation. This is a very, very powerful meditation. The self has learned this from many others who have gone through these programs and practice it, and it's roughly a 21-minute meditation and a beautiful meditation that will provide the enhancement of the self's consciousness as well as the raising of the energies. So with that, the self very much appreciates you watching this first day 1, session 1 reflection of engineering. Stay conscious, take it joyfully, and make it a great day.